Afternoon. Today we're going to be working on an 09 Trail King. My airbag went out and it's in a location where it's really hard to get to the nuts. So there's the air spring right there. Okay, it's leaking. I just sprayed it with soapy water and big old bubbles at the bottom. And you can hear it too. Well, the bolts, nuts, excuse me, for it are back here. Of course, right there. There's both of them, and you don't have much leverage to get them off, or much leverage to break the nuts loose. So I contemplated on this for a little bit. Shh, don't tell DOT. I had an old airbag, and I decided there's got to be a different way to do this. So I had recently bought a Cut 50 plasma cutter right there, and I took an old airbag. I just cut it off. Okay, I first used my air grinder, then I used my electric grinder. It was much quicker. We have these guys right here, which you can see right here. That's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to attempt to cut it off right here. I cut my vise pretty good. Try something a little bit different. What I ended up doing is I took a old shoe I had, an old Freightliner drum shoe, and I cut it inside this metal. And I know it took me a while to cut. So I put that on each side. I know it's kind of pushing my machine, but that's okay. When I go to cut it on the trailer, I don't want it cut in through the frame. I did that on each side. I cut on the inside, and I cut on the inside of that guy, and it came out a lot cleaner. So you can see the different sizes of the hole. That's really big. That's really small. I'm going to cut the liner off, the bag off. Take that thing completely out. I'm going to take our little plasma cutter, turn the camera on tomorrow, and videotape that process. Hey guys, okay, so to follow up from yesterday, I went ahead and cut the rest of it out, and then I cut right here on these two so I could push it down enough to see what was going on. And then I was able to get it the rest of the way around, okay? And so we removed that guy right there, and what we had left was this. This actually sits just like that, somewhere like that, right there, okay? And so what I was able to do is, as I started working it around, this boot was just kind of in the way. I did cut it out a little bit right here, and it didn't come loose enough for us after I put a pry bar and started prying that down, and it just started bending it a little bit, but it wasn't enough. So what I did is I noticed, so here you have, had this lip right here, and I just used the plasma cutter, and I started right on the top, or right here on the side. There we go, right there on the side. And went down like that, and it still didn't come loose, but so then I came up closer to the boot and cut it along there, and then it came off, and then the boot just started sliding off, but it's still crimped right there. So I just took over here and I went on the bottom of it and started cutting along that, and then the rubber boot just kind of peeled away, so I had more access to the plasma cutter and cutting our holes. So once I did, I cut the rest of it off with the electric grinder, okay? And as it's sitting right here, right, it sits like this. And so what I was able to do is process right here. I went ahead and just started circling them as pressure was put down by the pry bar right there at the top on this plate, sitting like this, and just put pressure down until it finally popped off, and it cut just perfect. Nothing that shouldn't have been cut was not cut. So both ends came off like that, and it was a success. So now we're just going to go ahead and put it back together. But like I said, had I not had the plasma cutter, it would have definitely taken a lot longer. The first time we did this, I think it took dang near 6 hours, just because of the amount of room you have underneath there, and using a die grinder to cut that dang thing out with a cutting wheel. It was just too much. So anyways, that's a success. So we're gonna go ahead and put this bad boy back up in there. If you need to see how air springs are put back in, there's a lot of videos that will give you that, but I just wanted to give a quicker fix to seized bolts, to cut them. That's not going to take you a good 8 to 10 hours just to do the job. I think I got started at that about, I want to say 11, and I was done by 1:30 cutting it all out, and that's just putzing around and having a good old conversation and stuff like that while I was doing it. So I hope that helps somebody out there, and we'll see you soon.